Without further ado, let's bring Jamie up.
Hi, Miss Jamie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, wonderful. Well, let's hear something from your book.
All right, so the book I brought with me today is called The Makings of Queen. It's actually the prequel to a trilogy. So it's the last book in the trilogy, but it takes it all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
So the synopsis is, so after reading Queen and Queen Logan's story, you all wanted to know how Ness and I got together. You all wanted to know the story about why I am the way I am. What could have happened to make this girl wintertime cold? Well, when you have been conditioned that women are supposed to act a certain way and worship the man, you will end up just like me. It took finding love that forced me to have to find myself. Once that happened, I was finally free. Trust me, the road there was long and painful. Get ready for this journey, and trigger warning, it's not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to read you guys a whole chapter because it's a short chapter. So it gives you like a little bit of what the story is about without giving away too much information. And that's the wrong chapter. So it's actually chapter 6. It's from her mother's point of view. It was Sunday, and I was sitting downstairs watching divorce court waiting for Queen to come home. Clyde was off at the gym, and for that I was grateful. He did not approve of me watching trashy TV, as he called it. The judge was just about to give her verdict when I heard the front door open. I'm home, Queen yelled as the door shut behind her. I turned the TV off and smoothed out my dress before walking over to the foyer. How was your trip? I asked. I was excited to hear her thoughts on the Big Apple. Clyde and I always planned to take her one day, but just never got around to it. So I was happy she was able to go with her school. It was cool, Mom. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty tired, and I'm still have to unpack, so I'm going to head up, Queen answered, sounding suspicious and never looking at me head on. She made her way upstairs, dragging her suitcase behind her. Something wasn't right, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but my instincts were telling me to follow her, so I did. Queen, I wasn't finished talking to you, I said in a stern voice as I made my way up the stairs, hot on her trail. It was obvious something happened while she was away, and it was also obvious she was trying to avoid me altogether. Mom, I just want to go to sleep, okay? The trip back was super busy, and I just want to lay down in my own bed, she protested. I was persistent in finding out what was bothering her, so I continued on her trail. Just as I made my way to the landing, Queen shut her bedroom door. This girl must have lost her mind back in NYC, shutting the door while I was talking to her. Yeah, she had to have forgotten who I was. I took a couple deep breaths to calm myself down before this child had me acting out of character. I for damn sure did not knock on her door before entering her room. Did you bump your head on the way in here, closing the door, Emma? I stopped mid-sentence. Queen was sitting at her vanity, and I noticed the right side of her face was swollen. That's what she was hiding when she came in. What happened to your face? I asked, racing over to her side to inspect it myself. Mom, it's nothing, okay? I thought I might have eaten something with shellfish in it or something, I don't know, Queen said, pulling her face away from me. I gave her that stare that only a mother would know. You know, the one that says, I know you're lying. I did know, and I wasn't about to pretend I didn't. If any of those girls from her school were giving her a problem, I didn't have not one problem going in on them and their mamas. They could all see me behind my only child. Girl, I know you don't think I believe that. That is not how your body reacts when you eat shellfish. Your throat will have closed, and Dad and I will be at your hospital bedside in New York right now. That's why you carry your EpiPen. Try again, little girl. Are any of those hot-in-the-pants girls giving you a problem? You know they are jealous of you because you're pretty and have all that hair. I went on as I took her chin and turned her face from side to side to examine it more fully. She tried to snatch away, but I wasn't having it. No, Mom, I'm nothing like that, she protested. As soon as the words left her mouth, her phone started to ring, and I saw the name My Baby pop up. I just knew she was lying. She wasn't allowed to have any boyfriends, so seeing that in her face, I hated to, but I put two and two together. Snatching the phone before she could, I answered with a stern, who is this? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm looking for Queen, the voice responded. It sounded too damn old to be looking for my baby. I know that for sure. The hell are you? Who is this? Mom, Queen protested, reaching for the phone. I gave her the mother of all black mother stares, and she retreated back into herself and looked in the mirror at her own face. My name is Ness. I'm just a friend of hers, he told me. And how do you know my daughter? How old are you? You damn sure don't sound 16, I went in on him. I'm sorry if this is a bad time. I'll just try her back later. And he hung up before I could ask anything else. I dialed the number back and it continued to go to voicemail. This son of a bitch turning back to her, I folded my arms and demanded that she started talking. Mom, I met him online, okay? She admitted. Are you crazy? Meeting people online can get you killed. Did he do that to your face? You better not lie to me either, I kept going. Mom, please stop, she begged, tears streaming down her face. No, I birthed you, and I will be damned if anyone does anything to you that I don't know about. You might not want to talk now, but I ain't stupid. Go downstairs and get an ice pack for your face before your dad gets back and all hell really breaks loose. I'm going to give your ass an hour to pull it together, and when I get back in here, you better be ready to talk about how your face got that bruise and swelling and what really happened this weekend, I warned her as I slid her phone in the pocket of my dress. She must have forgotten that I was a teenage girl once, and I knew what boys want. Hell, her daddy was 8 years older than me, and I met him when I was 13 at a carnival. He groomed me for years to be his wife, and I didn't even realize it because of how smooth he was with it. We went from being friends to him professing his love for me on my 18th birthday to being married and pregnant with her. So I knew the signs. I need to get to the bottom of this nest business. I couldn't help but to blame myself for her being attracted to older men. Like mother, like daughter, I guess. I was the reason why Clyde was so adamant about raising Queen so strictly. Because of the age difference between us, he didn't want the same for his little Queen. Little does he know, she was already following in my footsteps.
Okay, wonderful. That's great. That was one of the chapters in the book. That's good. Okay. So listening to that, that says, is this book something about life that happened to you or someone in your family?
It's mostly made up. So in the very first book, in the very first chapter, Queen is with this Indian guy named Ali. Only everything that happens with Ali ever happened to me, and it was a really disappointing night. I'm not gonna go into it, but I thought it would be a really funny way to start off the book.
Okay, interesting. So let me ask you, how many books have you published?
I have 6 books.
6?
Yes.
Wow. Which out of your 6 are you most proud of?
I'm gonna have to say the Love Written in Stone trilogy. I actually wrote that with Asira because I've been trying to branch out into different genres. I didn't want to be a one genre author, and I have a really difficult time writing fantasy, so she's been helping and mentoring and all that with my fantasy books and stuff. So I actually did start writing my own fantasy novel. It's not out yet. It's not nowhere near done, but I'm getting there.
Okay, wonderful. Let me see. Does writing exhaust you or does it excite you?
It's a bit of both. Like I said, I love writing. I always wanted to be an author, and then once it low key became a job, it was just like I don't feel like writing, but I know I need to get it done. So it normally just depends on if I already have an idea for that chapter in that book, or if I'm just like, all right, I know I gotta write, but I'm like, I have writer's block, and I'm getting yelled at to write.
Okay. And so last question. What author would have inspired you or inspired you to start writing and go on this journey?
To be honest, like I said, I grew up reading. So it was like my love of books, and it was just like I want to make people feel how reading makes me feel. So it wasn't just any one particular author. It was just reading books as a whole.
That is great. That is wonderful, Miss Jamie. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Nice talking to
I
you
look
too.
forward to reading the remainder of the book and the one coming up. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Miss Jamie, for coming on.